So welcome. My name is Sonya Lau. My job in ESSEC is actually I manage the pre-experience master programs in ESSEC. So under my portfolio, or today, I'm going to focus more on the specialized master. So basically for ESSEC and a lot of European schools, we separate the master programs under pre and post experience. So post experience are the MBA or the EMBA, and the pre-experience programs are more about the younger students or the more specialized area like marketing, finance, data science, or strategy, for example. So let's jump right into my slides. Then I'll give you a quick overview of what ESSEC provide, and also today I'm going to talk a little bit about the features and the resources that the experience during the master programs and the outcome, which is the career statistics, and you know how the students are doing after they completed different master programs. So here we go. Okay. Right. So a little bit of an overview if you don't know about ESSEC yet. We are a international business school that has a French roots. We have a physical campus in Singapore, actually in One North, the Buena Vista area, and it's a part of the bigger group. So ESSEC has two campuses in France, one in Morocco and one in Singapore. So we have our full facilities that offer all resources and programs that can be started and complete only in Singapore. And some of the program will allow students to rotate between different campuses. So in Singapore, all the programs are English taught. We don't require students to speak French or understand French before they join the program. But you know, usually French is something that we also teach during the program, so to give students a taste or some understanding about the French culture. So a little bit about the ranking of the schools and different programs that we offer. So in Asia campus, we have besides the MBA and the EMBA program, we have a Master in Management program, a Master in Finance program, and Advanced Master in Strategy Management of International Business program, as well as MSc in Marketing Management and Digital program. And part of the data science program can be taken in the Singapore campus. So as you can see in the school ranking, actually, ESSEC is ranked very well, not only in Asia, but internationally also. So if you look at some of the international ranking like FT on Financial Times, the management and the finance program are consistently in top 5 internationally ranked, same as the data science and the strategy program. So to give you an overview, today I'm not going to touch on specific program. So if you want to know more individual programs, of course we can have a separate conversation. But to give you an overview what a pre-experience program is like in ESSEC, usually these are 1 to 2 year master degree. So that means students will have a very intensive study, usually around 8 to 9 months of classes on campus. Then they will follow by an internship. So most of the, actually all ESSEC degrees are recognized by the French Ministry of Higher Education. All the ones that you will find in Singapore are highly ranked. They are intensive, so usually they can be done within 1 to 2 years, depends on the specific program. So the longer one usually is more flexible or will allow students to do a longer period of internship. So if you would like to take advantage of getting international work experience, for example, finding an internship or short time work contract in Europe, in France, or in Luxembourg, in any European country, that is, a very good way for younger students to take advantage of the student visa that ESSEC can provide to allows you to have that overseas work experience. And then, all programs can be taught in English. For Singaporean students or any students who study in an undergraduate degree in English, we don't require English tests anymore. So for TOEFL or IELTS, those can be waived. Then, of course, our physical campus in 3 campuses, we also have a very big list of international partners with different universities. So there are exchange partners as well as double degree partners available, within the ESSEC program. So to give you a better idea, here are some of the examples of who we partner with. So under the Master in Management program, for example, the 11 that you see here are the double degree partners. So something that, more familiar for all of you are, for example, Nanyang Business School in Singapore here locally. But also we partner with Peking University, Guanghua School of Management, or Bocconi, or University of Queensland, Keio University in Japan. We are also, some of the highlights of the exchange partners include UC Berkeley in the US. We recently have launched a dual degree with Berkeley's engineering school. There's also, Cornell in the US, or Imperial, LBS, HKUST. So these are the partners that we have who has already an agreement with ESSEC that students, if they choose to do an exchange program, they can join one of these exchange options. So what makes ESSEC unique comparing to other local universities? We are a European school, so I would say if you look at the learning method, we focus a lot in learning by doing, and there is actually a lot of options in the program that allow students to get really hands-on and to really build up the network during their time, in the graduate program. So one thing to highlight, ESSEC is a graduate school. So we do offer undergraduate program, but if you look at the portion of the students, majority of our students are actually graduate students in our group. So there are different ways that students will be engaging during their time in the ESSEC program. Obviously, there are a lot of business cases that we work with local or corporate partners that, allowing students to work directly with some of the real companies to solve real problems. There are interactive seminars that allowing students usually to do competitions or to solve cases. There are different games and, of course, lecturers who are quite, relating to professionals. At the moment, a lot of the ESSEC lectures are taught by professionals if you look at the electives options. Then there are different, interesting, project sets available. So most of the ESSEC master programs will include an internship. So if you look at the internship rates in the ESSEC, we place 100% of our students. 100% of them are able to successfully find an internship. Usually, of course, the career service and a lot of the corporate partners will be able to play a really important part in helping students in successfully finding something. It's also part of the program, so they must, complete an internship before they can graduate. Apprenticeship is a very French concept. So usually if students do choose the French campus, there is an option to apply and get hired into a program, into a company under the apprenticeship program. Essentially, basically, these companies will be paying for the students' tuition fee in order to help them, to finance their studies. So they will be studying and working at the same time during their program. So there's a lot of things, but I want to highlight a bit more today. It's on the corporate partners and the experience that students get during their time in the program. So some of these are the chairs. So under the management program, for example, these are sponsored projects. So usually it's a very French ESSEC terms when we talk about chairs. A lot of local students may not understand. Basically, to give you an idea, these are sponsored by the company. So usually a company or a few companies in the same industry will be sponsoring experience that students will be taking a 6 months chair, and they will be following different electives courses and taking seminar and then go on different trips in the region and then network with the company in the industry. So there are chairs in different principal and area and industry. So these are a list, of options that is available. So based on what the student wants and interest, usually they can choose and apply for the chair that they like. So for example, we have a chair with Accenture that specifically deal with business analytics. There is a chair in digital disruption that focus more on or work directly with BNP Paribas. There is a very famous chair that's called the LVMH chair that actually today at this event, our professor, Sonya Lau, she recorded a lecture actually on building a desirable brand. So she is an LVMH professor. If after today's, after this session, you can actually go on to her lecture and listen to, her class. And, obviously there are many different options. Like the newest one we have is building a beauty brand with Estee Lauder, or, there is a chair with leadership and diversity, working with L'Oreal and Deloitte. So these are the options that is available to all students under the management program. So these give you an insight also to when you become part of ESSEC, there are a lot of industry options for you to get to know different topics working directly with real companies. So those are the projects that is more for the Paris-based students. So part of a lot of the program, students will have an option to start either in Singapore or in Paris, and then they will have the option to rotate. So when they rotate to France, they will have the chair option. But if you look at the Singapore campus, this is one of the projects that we offer for the strategy program. It's called Asia Strategy Challenge. So to give you a highlight, in the past project, these are the projects that take place in 2018-19 academic year. So some of the enterprise or some of the company that we have been working with, and the different types of projects and the principles that we offer. So for example, we work with Decathlon in projects that looking at efficiency and effectiveness in their Southeast Asia, market. Or we work with Johnson & Johnson, or, there are different companies and there are different areas of the project that usually students can prioritize, they can rank, what interest they have, and then the program director will be able to help putting students into different groups and assigning into the project. So these projects usually are sourced by the school. So students do not need to worry about, they able to find something that they like or not. So these are the projects that is under the strategy and management program in Singapore. So most of the master program in ESSEC, besides the academic courses, they will include a study trip as well as an internship. So a study trip is usually part of the curriculum that we bring students around in the region, or for the finance program in this case, that they will go to different financial hubs. So students can choose between Hong Kong, New York, or London to visit, and to basically it's a 1 week experience to meet with companies and alumni. So personally, I have joined the Hong Kong study trip, and usually within a week times, every day there's 2 to 3 companies that students will be meeting, and each company usually there would be an ESSEC alumni that is helping to organize these events. So they work with HR in the company. So for example, Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, or JP Morgan, that then you get to hear from the alumni himself or herself to talk about his experience, how his journey when it comes from the point after graduation from ESSEC to where, how he get to where he is. Usually these are the alumni that are quite senior. And then, he or she will also invite, a lot of the more junior roles in the companies that come in and mingle with the students and share their experience. So, it's this part of the program that allows students to get to know, from a more personal perspective, what the ESSEC alumni is really about. So ESSEC is a small school. So in a way, if you look at the class size, each of the cohort or each of the program usually is roughly between 30 to 40 students. So in a way, it's a very close-knit network that, students, alumni are usually quite very open and to happy to meet with each other and to support each other during their career journey. So then you have the internship, which is also part of the program and the curriculum. So depending on which master degrees that you opt to. So usually they are 4 to 6 months, with the exception of the management program, usually is a 1 year internship. But for that case, if you have prior work experience, you can also have your 1 year internship be fulfilled by your prior experience, basically. So it is supported by the career service. If you look at, the statistic, usually I would say about 50 to 70% of these placements are placed within the ESSEC network. So it is really important for us to maintain the relationship with our alumni and to help students to nurture their career journey. So one part of the strategy and management program also include a mentorship program. So this is something that is available to all ESSEC students, supported by the career service team and the program director, basically to bridge the gap between students and alumni. So each student will be paired with alumni under the mentorship program. So you will be assigned for a mentor and to help, basically opening the eyes of the students. If you are interested in a particular job function or industry, the mentor will be able to give you information and help you guide you professionally how to break into that area. And of course, to establish a professional network, which is really important. So I talk about, how powerful or how important it is for our alumni or for our ecosystem. So here is some of the statistic and the information for you to take a look. Basically, for example, there are in ESSEC, we have over 150 corporate partners and over 21,000 apprenticeship, and also we have placed over or we receive over 6,000 graduate job offers each year. And then it's really interesting also to see that ESSEC is within business school, one of the very few that have our own incubator. It's called ESSEC Venture. So if you are interested to become an entrepreneur, we actually support students and fund students in seeding different projects if they are decided to become an entrepreneur themselves. So here specifically about the finance program, because I know a lot of the students in Singapore are quite interested in the finance degree in ESSEC. So to give you a better insight about the strong connection and tie with the industry, ESSEC is a CFA partner program. So that means, a number of ESSEC students usually will receive a scholarship to sit for the CFA exam, and our curriculum are quite similar to, CFA level 1, 2, and actually level 3 as well. So if students decided to continue taking the exams, they would be able to do that. So I think I need to speed up a bit faster. Here is a specific view on the Singapore campus placement. So Master in Finance is one of the most competitive or one of the best program in finance that you can find internationally. So to give you, a view on the career placements of how we do, it's a smaller, well, it's a relatively small program. We only have about 30 students on campus each year, and we put a lot of focus in the career development. So starting from orientation, students will have training in summer internship application. So summer internship is something for students to get into investment banks, essentially. So it is one of the highest conversion when it comes to converting an internship into a full-time position. So if you look at the number of summer internship placement comparing to the industry, comparing to general, the norm of this industry is a much higher percentage. So, here's the list of students that are placed into this company and their particular roles. So each year we do have roughly about 20% of the students getting into a summer internship in various groups like Citi or UBS, for example. So here's, another overview of the management program as well as the finance and data science. I will skip this quite fast because I actually have a table here that I put together for you to have an overview on between different programs, options in ESSEC. And when we talk about ROI, it's really important to compare how much you spend and what is the outcome when you graduate from the program, right? So when you look at the statistic in ESSEC, I would say about 95+% of the students are able to secure a job, usually 3 to 6 months after they graduate. And it is usually, it's always 100% when it comes to the internship placement. So in this table is one thing to look at, but it's another thing that I didn't factor the opportunity cost. And that means, if you decided to quit your job, you're not going to earn an income during the program. So it is something to consider, and also, the living costs. That's, so in the last column here, basically what I did is I just take the average salary each month, and then to divide by the tuition fee. So for Master in Finance, Management, and Data Science, for example, it takes roughly, 5 to 7 months in order to earn back how much you spend in the tuition fee to basically offset how much you spend. But of course, it will not be this short because, you also will spend on, living expenses. So, it's this in ideal situation, if you don't live, if you don't spend any money, then, it would take around 5 months to pay for your master's degree programs. But, to give you an idea, this is how it works. So, and of course, there's also other ways to increase this, because there is scholarship available, there is different financing options available also. So for example, if you are able to get an apprenticeship, then essentially you're not paying any tuition fee. So everything you make when you graduate from the program will be, will be a bonus. Okay, so here's an overview of, the different options for students who can either live in Singapore or France, their ranking of the program, the tuition fee. So it's actually quite in line with all the local schools in Singapore, I would say. And then, for internship, it is a paid internship in ESSEC most of the time for students. And then, how much the starting average salary. So, of course, these are all, average statistic that we have collected over the few years. But I would encourage all of you to actually do your own research. So if you don't know about a LinkedIn function, this is something that you can do, and you can go in and actually do your own research. So I think, I will leave 5 minutes for Q&A. I know there is a few questions that have been asked. So if you have any questions now, this is the time also to submit your question. So the first question is, if there's scholarship available. Yes. So ESSEC has a partial scholarship available to all students. Usually is based on diversity or academic excellence. So there is also scholarship reserved for Singapore campus. So if you would like to apply to the Singapore campus, there's an additional scholarship that's available. So all the information are listed on the website. So for COVID-19, GMAT waiver, it's also available for round 1 next year. Okay, so you know about ESSEC already. So we are currently offering a GMAT waiver for students applying in the 2020 intake because of COVID-19. This exemption will not be available for next year. So everything will be resumed to normal. So for 2021 intake, all students will need to submit GMAT or GRE for the application. Okay, I know your master in management is highly ranked. Is there opportunity to do apprenticeship? The students or does ESSEC provide help to find a contract or apprenticeship? Yes, so all students will have the same resources available as a group. So in Singapore, in France, all these information are shared in the job portal, so students will have the information. Okay. For data science and then business analytics, what does Singapore campus optional? Okay, so this program is actually a partnership program between ESSEC and Central Superlec, which is an engineering school. So because of that, students will have to start in Paris. So the first 6 months of the program has to be based in Paris. Then students will have the option to rotate back to Singapore between April to June. Then they can do the internship anywhere. Okay, I need to go faster. Can you describe a hybrid program that I can do a term here and a term in France or Morocco? So pretty much a lot of the programs have that option. So like the data science program, finance program, management program will have the options to rotate between the campus. So if you speak to me directly or download a brochure, you'll find those information. So what is the number of applications? Okay, so this is actually, I don't have the general number with me, but ESSEC is a very competitive school. So I mean, in a way that we do have quite a lot of applications. Usually, my recommendation is you can speak with me or any of our colleagues or the student ambassador. So we'll give you an idea of what is a good application. So before you submit, we will help to make sure you are ready, so you have a good chance before submitting the application. So the program is competitive. I have no relevant experience. And academic grades are quite average. Is that what factor would help me to stand out otherwise? Okay, so it is actually something that we welcome students from all backgrounds to apply to ESSEC. Even though you don't have any related experience, it's okay to apply, especially the Master in Management program would be a good option, or the Strategy and Management program. For finance or data science, we usually prefer or marketing, we prefer students who have some relevant experience or something that they can show they have really strong interest in that particular field. But let's say if you don't have any relevant business experience, the idea of going back to do a master's degree in business is the exact reason why it will help to pivot your career into something different. So obviously you did not study a business degree when you in your undergraduate study, and you want to move into that field or that area. So by going into a business master, that is the exact reason. So ESSEC actually really appreciate students who come from a different area. So that means you have an expertise already, and we would just help and to provide you with a different sets of competencies to help pivoting your career. So it's all in the application, how you position yourself. So those are things that we don't mind. Actually, you don't have a business background, but obviously in the application, you will have to explain why this is a good program and why it will help you to get to the career that you want. So the last question, I think, this is, let's stop here. What GMAT score is considered competitive when applying for data science, business analytics? So in ESSEC, for finance and data science, usually these are more quantitative programs. So a GMAT average would be around 680, I would say, but it's more important in the quantitative section. So when we look at the score, usually it's a holistic view between different areas, like your undergraduate study, what are the quantitative subjects, how you did in those areas, and in GMAT, if you look at the overall score and also the breakdown of the score. So if you're going to apply for the data science program, obviously it's really important to have a strong quant score in that particular field. So I think to conclude, actually, I think to end, but we do have some GMAT, GRE waiver before the lockdown. So there are vouchers available. If you are interested, applying for the program next year, do speak to me. I'm happy to share those discount vouchers with any of you if you decided to apply for the 2021 intake. So you will need to schedule an appointment with me first, so we can have a chat. And if you're ready for 2021, I'm happy to share some of these discount vouchers. Usually it's 20% of the test fee. So thank you very much for joining me today. So if you have any questions, my contact information are here. You can drop me a WhatsApp message or email. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.